What's going on, YouTube? Happy Friday. It is me, the BBK, and welcome back to the Bosses Clubhouse for yet another great discussion. Stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? We are back again with yet another great conversation. I hope the topic suits you well. I'm a little excited about it. Shout out to my bosses in the chat, Momo, JB. What's going on, ladies? Thank you so much for being here. Um, First, I want to, I know I didn't give a lot of explanation when I scheduled this live, so let me clear up a few things so that there's no misconceptions about tonight. First of all, this is not a dragging children session. That's not what this is. This is going to be a conversation about mixed households and relationships and children. Do you trust your partner with your child? Do you trust your partner to discipline your child, to be alone with your child, to do things with your child? Do you have a future? Are you planning a future with your partner? So it's going to be that type of conversation. Um, Again, just as a reminder, this conversation may attract a different type of audience. We don't usually have any fool la la when we're here tonight. I don't expect none, don't hope for any, but I like to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. The moderators will be keeping the chat clean. Everybody's opinion is welcome so much. Just try to be tactful, try to keep it cute and be respectful. Any disrespect or dragging of someone's child from the YouTube sector, I can tell you right now, you'll be blocked on site. The moderators, whether you see them or not, they are here. They not for the fool la la. And most of my moderators have children and grandchildren. So I hope you can enjoy yourself. And again, feel free to express your honest opinion because that's what I want. That's what I want. I want your honest opinion. So before we get into the whole relationship side of things, I want to remind you guys that I posted on my community wall a snapshot. Oh, I got some email to check out. I'm going to bring this up here. Hey, sissy. So I posted this on my community wall earlier, and this is a message from who? Who is the World Health Organization that has a lot to do with the current pandemic, has a lot to do with Tony and his group. Yeah. Who reminds us that if your child is enrolled in public school, they do not need your consent. And in this particular article, it says informed consent, which more or less means they don't need to tell you, they don't need to schedule, they don't need to get your permission, they don't need to send any slips home, they don't need to do any of that. If they decide on Tuesday morning that they're going to hand out applesauce, they're going to hand out the applesauce. That's it, and that's all. Your children will most likely not be able to, all kids will be, be mandatory for them to be present. They will most likely not be allowed to go into the office to call their parents. They will not be allowed to use their cell phones. If your child is in public school, then that means obviously you have consented to them having applesauce. That is pretty much what the WHO is telling you right now. So get your snapshot. Feel free to send this to your friends and family so that everybody will know. And we told you when this started to happen in Australia, that everything that happens over there eventually makes its way over here into the States. And this is just another confirmation that that's exactly what's happening. If you are against the whole applesauce deal, if you are not feeling what they are putting down, if you are not consenting and have decided that you do not want your child to have any applesauce, then that means you're going to have to make a major decision and keep your child home. Now, you cannot keep your child home just because you don't want them to have applesauce, because that can cost you, criminal charges. Okay, you're going to have to go about it the right way. You would have to sign up for homeschooling. You're going to have to go through all of the changes. You're going to have to educate yourself, learn what is necessary, what is required. You're going to have to prepare yourself to make sure that you can answer to the higher ups in an appropriate manner and with the necessary information to keep yourself out of jail. Okay. If you have a special needs child that is getting assistance, getting therapy, treatment, having special tutoring and everything, I want to remind you that even though there may be a therapist of some sort coming to the home to help you with your child, that it takes more than just a paid professional. Just like when your kids go to school and we pay the teachers to teach them for 8 hours a day, when the child comes home, you got to spend another hour or two with that child to help go over and repeat what it is they learned with the professional, so that this will help sink into the child's head. It's just a necessity as a parent. It's something that you got to do. If that's something that you're not willing to do, don't have no kids. If you're not going to do right by your kids, give them to somebody that will do right by them. I know people use kids as a money bank, and time is coming to where that's gonna end for you. So you're gonna have to poop or get off the pot. There are consequences to be held if your child is not going to public school, your child is not enrolled in private school, and they ask your child what his name is, his phone number, his address, what his ABCs is, can he count to 20, this, that, and the third, and your child is not able to meet those requirements, you can guarantee your behind that you're probably going to go to jail, and your child may be allowed to go to the next of kin. Your child may end up in the system. So these are all the things that you have to think about and consider going forward, knowing what you know now. Now, knowing what you know now, which is, and we spoke a little bit on this the other day about, giving permission and receiving some type of a schedule in advance notice that this is going to happen. And I think it was Lock Nation that came into the chat and said that, he thinks there was a certain age to where they didn't require your permission. I think the WHO article, which you can research and look up yourself, has dispelled that. I did ask for some receipts because I hadn't read that anywhere. With minors, you pretty much need parental consent for everything. The police can't talk to a minor without their parents or guardians present. But I don't have to worry about the receipts now. I think this is just kind of dispelled everything. So, but knowing what you know now, are you prepared to take the necessary steps to remove your child from that public entity or not? If you need help, you need to know where you need to go to get help, who you need to speak to, this type of thing. Let me glance at the chat. I'm sorry, because I get to go in chat and I forget about the chat. Hang on, y'all. Okay, you had to enroll them. Yeah, yeah, right. No kids, no money, no money, no job. Right, right. You have to. Yeah. Now, so let's paint a picture. You have a boyfriend. You have a fiance. You have somebody that you are planning a future with. You're planning on marrying them and having a permanent life with them. But you got two kids and he's not the baby's daddy. Do you trust him with your children? And when I say that, I mean, do you trust him to take your kids back and forth to school? Do you trust him to pick them up? Do you trust him to take them to extracurricular activities, football, softball, track, skating? Do you trust him to babysit, to be alone with your child? And most importantly, do you trust your partner to discipline your child? Now that's starting with your partner. What if your baby daddy has moved on and he's got a girlfriend or girlfriends with an S? Is his girlfriends allowed to discipline your kids when they go to their daddy house? Is that a conversation that you and your baby father has had so that you both know where you stand and what's allowed, what's agreed upon? If it's not, it should be, because we're in a society right now that it's really crucial that you have a good understanding of who your partner is and you have some idea of background on your partner, because you can't just leave your kids with anybody at any time. You can't. You got to be able to trust them. You need to have background check, credit check, criminal check, blood check, P check, all of the checks. You need to put him or her through the ringer. And I mean, that doesn't guarantee that he's not a pedo person. It doesn't guarantee, but it gives you a sense of ease, a sense of comfort, knowing that you have dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's to check and make sure that he's a good man and he doesn't have a criminal record of doing this before. Right. You second guess yourself when you're dealing with small children, infants, toddlers, um, kindergartners. You second guess yourself because those children are not able to tell you if somebody is doing something to them, if somebody has hurt them. They're not able to express that to you. So you want to kind of second guess giving anybody that type of power or freedom with the child or children. However, when you get up to, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, those kids are quite capable of coming back and telling you everything you need to know and what you don't need to know. They can come back and repeat secrets and, tell you whose house they went over and what the phone number was and, the name of the dog and all of the things. But are you in a mixed household? Do you have a mixed household where you have kids and the man or woman that you're involved with is not their parent, the other half of their parent? And if so, what kind of time frame do you think is necessary for you to get comfortable with them? Keep your love life separate. Absolutely, JB. I think when you're in your early stages of dating someone, they do not deserve to be at your home where you and your family reside. They don't deserve to meet your children and your family until y'all have been together for a while. I know these kids these days, they meet somebody, the ding ding be good to them, that head get good to them, and in 2 weeks they done met the family, and in 30 days they talking about getting married. It's not gonna work out right for you. Some people have really made it work, but those are our ancestors that may have gone through something like that. Met somebody and got married to them real quick, and they don't believe in divorce. So they choose to stay together even though they're not that happy, and even though somebody's probably been cheating that whole time. But they stayed together for the kids, for the security and the stability. And I say don't stay anywhere that you're not happy. But I definitely say tread lightly before you enter into a relationship or a marriage that is easy to get into, but it's going to be a monster getting out of. You got to tread lightly on that. You know, once you've dated a guy, I mean, I guess it could be anywhere between, I don't know, I'm kind of old fashioned, 8 months to a year. He don't need to meet the kids. If y'all are really digging each other and y'all want to be girlfriend and boyfriend, then I would say that decision would be made somewhere within the first 3 or 4 months. You need to go ahead and go to the clinic, get checked out. You need to do the criminal check, the background check, the credit check. You need to check all of the things. You need to check his Facebook, his Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Here's something that I think a lot of people haven't thought about. If you meet a man and he doesn't have a lot of pictures on his social media, that could be a telltale sign that he's hiding something. Because if his picture were to get out there, there could be people that will come out of the blue and say, wait a minute, I know him. He did this to me back in the day, or he did that to me back in the day. So I wholeheartedly agree with what JB says. Keep your private life separate. Keep your love life separate from your home life until you know for sure exactly what it is what type of relationship you're expecting to have with this person. I was taught to never lay down with a man you don't want to have kids with, period, because it's always possible. Anything is possible. You know, using a prophylactic, it can easily break. He can take it off at the height of the moment. Anything is possible. However, I do believe in abortion, and I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people have spiritual doubts about that. A lot of people just feel some kind of way about loss of life. I get it. And to each his own. Everybody had their own opinions. But I believe in abortions. I believe if you are violated or your cookies are taken by force, you should not have to bear a burden of carrying a child 9 months and bringing them into this world when it was an unwanted pregnancy. It wasn't planned. You were violated. He's not going to be there. You're stuck. So I believe in situations like that, you should have the ability to have an abortion if you so desire. If you are a mature adult and you tried to take the necessary precautions to have a child and it didn't work out and you got pregnant, if you don't want to have that child because you don't see a future with this man, I feel like that is your decision, your body, and your right to terminate the pregnancy. But man, you guys, we see too much of it. You know, we see these people leaving their kids off on people so they can go to the club. You know, we see people building their bodies. They're not building their mind. They're not building their intellect. They're not building their language. They're building their bodies in hopes to catch a man. I don't know what man you think is going to want you for you if you've changed everything about yourself to please him. Everybody that look like you, he's going to be attracted to and he's going to want to spend time with. So you have to love yourself first. And I know as young kids, that's just not something that they always do. They quick to want to get out there and get that attention and do all of the things. And nobody deserves to ever be violated or have the R word done to them. That's not acceptable. I don't think that in any way. I don't care how provocatively they dressed. I don't care how they got drunk and danced on the bar and showed the people that they didn't have no drawers on. I just don't believe that they're deserving of that type of violation. However, you have to take care of yourself. You have to be careful, and you have to make sure to not put yourself in a vulnerable situation so something like that happens. You know? Um, that's just me. I'm old school, married 31 years. Congratulations, 31 years. Wow. It would have been, if I had still been married, it probably would be 36 years for me. I will be up there with you. Yeah, yeah, it would be a while for me as well. They changed themselves so much. They have kids and they look nothing like them due to all the plastic. Absolutely. And then as you get old, all your body parts start to give in to gravity, if you will. Start to fall. Your titties start to fall. They're not perky no more. Your butt start to fall. Some people start to get wide and round. Um, it's just a number of things. You start to, some people have a hump in their back. And, I was told as a young child it was based on your culture, but that's not the case. I don't know what gives a person a hump in their neck or their back. But if you're carrying around big titties, you're going to have a bad back. If you carrying around a lot of junk in your trunk, yeah, you probably going to find yourself bent over. Um, you know, it's life. But be careful what you alter on your body for the sake and the acceptance of another individual. You have to be able to love yourself first. Um, Discipline with a child, that's kind of tricky for me because I did not approve of disciplining of my baby daddy's girlfriend or fiance or whatever, disciplining my child. I didn't approve of it. I was verbal with it with the daddy. And when I met the girlfriend, I was verbal with it, with her as well. My child was old enough to talk, tell it, and do anything else he or she wanted to do. Um, for me, the deal breaker was when my child developed a relationship with that other party. Then it didn't feel so scary. They had developed a relationship. They liked them. They used to come home and tell me what they did, what was said, what had happened, a lot of different things that happened. And once they build a relationship with them, that's when, and I've always told them, please be respectful. Do not be disrespectful to her. If she says something or does something that you don't like, tell your daddy, and if your daddy don't say nothing or do nothing about it, then call me. And that was the that was the chain of events or the hierarchy for the BS. Knock on wood, thank you, Jesus. I didn't have any issues like that. Um, when my ex got ready to remarry, they had a good understanding. They had a good relationship. Um, and my kids' dads was never keen on anybody putting their hands on their kids, so I didn't have to worry about one of the women trying to whoop my kids per se or put their hands on my kids because they daddy wasn't with that. No way. That was a good way to get choked out. So I didn't ever have to worry about that anyway. But it ended up not happening. And they went on about their business, and at that point, and it was like clockwork. Um, my first baby daddy, he just didn't, he really didn't go that direction anymore. He find somebody he liked, they'd have a couple of flings or whatever and go on about their business. So he's been a carefree soul. My second baby daddy, he has now gotten married, and the relationship is not good with my child. But again, my child is grown, has kids. Um, and it's just a real shaky relationship. Um, being a grandmother, I can say I have said don't let nobody else put their hands on my grandbabies for any reason. I don't give a damn what the reason may be. Don't do it. Um, and then I have to let I have to let my daughter handle the rest of that because those are her kids, and she has to deal with. I don't know who's helping to get them back and forth to school. I don't know who's watching them to give her a break. I don't know the different relationships or things that they have in place with people. So I have to let her make that decision, and I trust that she's making a good decision. Um, Nowadays, I don't know. I don't think if I had one of my grandkids with me, I don't think I would trust. Um, I don't think I would trust the man to do anything with the granddaughter or the grandson. I don't think I would trust him to take him to school, pick him up from school, take him to football practice. I wouldn't trust him to be at the house about it. It's just something in my spirit. It won't let me do it. It won't let me do it. I think that everyone should have some type of moral compass that will help them protect their kids from that type of thing, but everybody won't. Because some people don't really want their kids, and they'll never tell you, they'll never speak on it publicly, but you can tell by their actions they're always leaving their kids off on somebody else. That's a sign. If you ain't spending no time with them, you don't want them. You only keeping them for what they bring to you, which is financial gain, government aid, free rent, half rent, food stamps, cash aid. The government pays for the insurance. If the government were to decide that all able-bodied people that worked would get kicked off of housing, you would be amazed at what you would see. Now, it would be a lot of neglected children. It would be a lot of neglected children in the system. But I think it would be better. There used to be back in the day in a foster home, the people wanted to help the kids. They wanted to be there for them. But kids have been tainted so badly inside the home where their spirit and things have been so knocked out of whack to where when by the time the foster families get them, they're so disruptive, disrespectful, not appreciative of things that people just say, well, you know what? I'll let him or her do what they want to do. I'm getting $1,200. I'm getting $1,500. I'm getting $2,200 a month for them. So I just let him do what he want to do and let it go as long as the money keep coming. And I think a lot of times there are arguments and conversations where maybe that is said and the child hears it, and then they end up running away. I mean, who knows? Some kids just run away because they're not unhappy with themselves, let alone the foster families. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly, Momo. Because it's a lot of stuff that you have to worry about. And unfortunately, people are not worried. People are not thinking. People are still asleep. And it's unfortunate because as many kids that have been rescued, found, discovered, escaped across the border, as much as I've been happy to hear that they made it here and that they were safe and sound, they're not as safe and sound as I think they are. Because like I said before, we never hear about them again. We never see them. We don't hear about them. So I think they're being recycled. I think they're being recycled They're coming from whatever country they're coming from, coming across the border, getting put into the system and recycled back to the underground and back to the different places. Now, the underground is not like it used to be. They've lost a lot of tunnels. They've lost a lot of people. The money is not the same. The government is being brought down. The traitors and treasonous people and people with guilty of crimes against humanity are slowly being taken out. And they're trying to get us to a state of normalcy. And where we came from before is not normal. So don't say you wish we could go back to normal. We've never been normal. But hopefully they can get us to a state of normalcy here soon. And at that point, things may brighten up. Yeah. So I dropped the link. I don't know if anybody want to say how they feel about the kids, the grandkids. Have you experienced a situation where, you've watched somebody not be as secure with their children in a relationship to where you either had to say something, speak up, step in, help out, anything like that? Feel free to share your story. If not, I won't hold you much longer. I know the streets are hot. They jumping, they popping. I don't drag kids. I hate to hear people drag kids. I'm not one to tell anybody how to fight. You fight how you need to fight. If somebody dragging your kids, I don't expect anything less of you than for you to drag their kids. But I will say this. If you don't want anybody in your business, keep your business off of YouTube. You understand what I'm saying? If you are being so transparent that all of your business is on YouTube, you will be judged. You will be criticized. You will be bullied. You will be harassed. You will be picked on. You will have the system sicked on you. When you won't change, start with yourself. If you don't want nobody in your business, keep your business off of YouTube. If you got kids that need extra help, spend the extra hours with your child instead of getting attention. See, to me, all of that means is that you were lacking attention as a child, and your kids suffer with the same thing. It's a generational curse, and it's unfortunate. But you gotta change somewhere. And most of the time, change starts within yourself. So again, thank you, my moderators, for coming. I appreciate you. Shout out to all my bosses, my cave dwellers, my street runners, my boss replay gang, my supporters, subscribers, allies, haters, and ops. It's been great. Happy Friday. I hope y'all stay lifted in prayer. I continue to keep everyone lifted in prayer. Please stay safe, be aware, and get into the kids' lives, get into the grandkids' lives, get into what is going on with the school system, because it will be unfortunate to discover in a month or two, especially in the middle of the holidays, for us to start having a large amount of children to start passing away, and we have to start burying kids in the holidays. It's not conducive. It's not conducive. We don't want that. Especially, we don't want it anyway, but in the holidays, we don't want to start having to bury a lot of children. It's going to tear down the little morale that we have and a little bit of hope that we have. I think people will lose the positivity that's in the fight that we're facing. I think a lot of people will lose the motivation to fight. Momo says, breaking news, Build Back Better bill did not pass. Which bill was that one, Momo? Is that the one that Ben Line was pushing so tough? Well, I'm glad it didn't pass. I am glad it didn't pass. They are trying to rush. Thank you, Sissy. They are trying to rush. Yes, yes, JB. Yes, thank you, Jesus. It didn't pass. If you notice, they are trying so feverishly to rush a lot of their nonsense through the system before all of their people can be shut down. It's unreal. And ever since they passed that bill to give the kids ages 5 to 11 the applesauce, I knew then it's going to be bad. And I believe that they pick and choose who gets the real applesauce and who gets the placebo. I think they know who it is. And I have been telling you guys for almost 2 years, don't separate yourself from your children. Don't let your kids go back to school. They're going to use that against you. See, once they get the kids in the school system and they force the apple, because a lot of times it's going to be forced, but they force the applesauce on these children, then now the children are no longer seen as a threat, but the parents at home who haven't had the applesauce are now a threat to the children. And that's how they're going to use them to separate you. 3.5 trillion infrastructure. Oh my, they need money. Of course, as minorities get the poison. Of course. I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you said it, Momo. I didn't want to say it because I didn't want nobody to say I'm being prejudiced or I'm being biased or being a bigot. But the minorities going to always be the ones to have to catch it bad. And if you really think about it, how is it that your civilians, your citizens, your United States citizens are being forced to have to eat the applesauce, but the people that are coming over here illegally, immigrants that are coming over here illegally, it's not even an option to discuss right now? Yet those are the same people who are coming over here illegally that you want to put $500,000 in their pocket to let them live without any stress, worry, or harm. How about you give $500,000 to any citizen who's held a job for 5 years or longer? How about you let that be your incentive instead of giving it to people who, to me, are undeserving of it? But that's just my opinion. Anything else you guys want to add to the topic? That was pretty much it. I know the title was kind of clickbait. Let's talk about the children. I know it was a little clickbaitish. I think I did that on purpose to get people over here. But I think you all knew we wasn't finna be dragging no kids. I think y'all know that I give babies my last. And I would not stand by and watch somebody physically or mentally abuse a child in my presence. It just wouldn't happen. Before I came live, I was over on Nolan's girl's channel. She had went live and I caught her live. And she was telling me that I need to check out this group called the Daddy's Girl Cult. And that this lady was similar to Nature Boy. She said that she had been following her on Instagram, but she's always taking her channel down and starting over. She said she was running from somebody. She was being trolled. Sounds more like to me she's being stalked. I thought maybe, Instagram was taking her channel down for violating community guidelines or something. Because I even heard Nolan's girls, the tube had been taking down her videos and stuff, trying to censor her. And I told her, girl, you got to use code words. You got to be strategic. You got to, figure out where the weakness is, what is making it so easy for them to take you down and do better. I didn't type all of that, but, it's real. The censorship is real out here. A dead soldier gets 100,000 illegal. Yes, gets 450K. Yeah, it makes no sense. You heard of her, JB? Wow. She was telling me that the woman was, what does she call it? The BDSM. And I looked up BDSM, and it's kind of like that freaky shit, bondage and masochism and Yeah, whips and chains and handcuffs and shit. I mean, she was telling a story about how somebody was getting whipped with a whip, was getting hit with a whip, and they were getting spanked until they bled. And I thought, girl, if he make me bleed, he gonna bleed too. But I mean, I've been handcuffed before, and I've done a few little freaky things in my experimentation stages. Nothing too wild and crazy, nothing that hurt me or caused me any harm, but definitely experimental. I'm too old for that. I'm not limber like I used to be, so I wouldn't be open to any of that at this particular stage of the game. Um, but yeah, that's something else too. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday. If your other half comes to you and wants to add people to your bedroom, it's something for you to think about. She said, okay, come back. Played cops and robbers, huh? Yes, we did, baby. Yes, we did. Hide and go get it and all of the things, Gary. Yes, sir. But the cops and robbers was the biggest thing, baby. That was, ooh, yeah, memories. Oh, so many memories. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't come across you. Would I have those memories? Girl, when you can't speak, just wave your hand. Baby, if you could just see me waving my hand. Girl, all I can do is shake my head. Them was the good old days back then. You can't have those same days these days. You got to be kind of careful about it. But yeah, thank you guys, to my moderators. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. I know it's a Friday night and I don't want to keep nobody away from what they plan to do. Yes, I did have a flashback. I did. I had a flashback, Momo. I don't want to keep you guys from your Friday night. I'm sure people had some plans. I didn't really have any plans. I was going to do my hair. I have to be up and be at work at 6 a.m. But I'm so tired. I took a little nap at lunch, but it was interrupted. And so I found myself dozing off earlier, so I set the alarm. So I think I'm just going to go in here and take a shower and come back and cut the TV on and watch TV. I had a list from Anthony of some different movies, some good movies. And I'm going to just read off a couple to you. You guys can maybe look at them later or look and see if you have access to them. We started to watch Venom 2, and then he started to ask about Paranormal Activity. I can't remember the last part of the name because there's several Paranormal Activities. We watched that. It was about Amish people. It was really, really good. I saw Old. Some of the other movies was Dune 2021. Eternals, my bootleg don't have it yet, but I want to see that. No Time to Die, Halloween Kills, The French Dispatch, Last Night in Soho, The Last Duel, Night Teeth, Army of the Dead, the prequel, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. That's the one we started to watch before JB went to sleep. Free Guy, Sarda Udom, The Trip, Titan, Runs Gone Wrong, Cruella. Oh, it was Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. That's what we watched. Malignant 2021, The Deep House, The Cost of Deception, The Green Knight, Spencer, The Addams Family 2, Army of the Dead 2021, Free Guy, Antlers, Hypnotic, After We Fail, Black Widow. I want to see Black Widow real bad. That's not in my bootleg thing either. The Forgotten Battle, Old. I saw Old the other day. I'm supposed to be doing a review on it. I think I might have done it already. The Many Shirts of Saints of Newark, Lamb, Shanghai and the Legend of 10 Rings, The Guilty, The Suicide Squad, Sarda Odom again, The Deep House, The Cost of Deception, The Green Knight, Spencer, The Addams Family 2, Army of the Dead, Harder They Fall, Injustice. What is this? Cop Shop, Old Henry, and Candyman. Now, Boss King was going to show me how to put, I can't think of it on the app, Cody on my Fire Stick, but he was telling me where these movies were, which was on 18.9. Well, these movies got popped and they're on the forbidden list. So if you're not getting 18.9, you won't have access to these movies. So I decided against it, but I'm thinking about maybe trying to put it together and see, if I can see it. He something that broke my spirit on it was he said if you have to watch a movie once a week to keep it updated. Otherwise, the whole thing will crash, and I didn't particularly care for that. If I download you on my Fire Stick, whenever I get ready to watch you need to be there and show me my movies. If not, yeah, I'm good. Handcuffs, yeah, time or two back in the day. You did the handcuffs, sissy? Ooh, yeah. Watch Inside Job on Netflix. Okay, I don't have Netflix, so I have to look on my bootleg website and see if it's there. One Side Job tells it all. What's is happening in our world, all in a cartoon style. Yes, it's all like a cartoon. It's like we're living inside the movies. Black Widow is a huge red pill. Oh yeah. See, I remember when the first Black Widow, and I don't think it was called Black Widow, but the first one with I can't think of her name right now. But it was really good. And now they've named it Black Widow. So nothing wrong with some handcuffs now running. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Oh, Black Widow is, okay. Well now. So anyway, I won't tank the rest of this video anymore with things off topic. I appreciate you guys coming over. If you wouldn't mind, please hit the like button on your way out or whichever way your spirit leads you. We would appreciate it. I hope you guys take some time to maybe speak with your family, your friends about this situation with the kids. Again, the Who photo is on my community wall. Please share with your friends and family. It is just another confirmation of what I suspected and thought. And they're telling you straight up on their own website exactly what they're going to do without your knowledge, without your permission, without your consent. And again, the holidays, we don't want to see a large number of kids dying anyway, but we definitely don't want to see it during the holidays. Okay? So let's keep that in mind and be watchful and aware. If I'm watching this scary people calls, I'll be up for 3 days. Yeah, well, Black Widow is more of a heck of a murderer. She sex them down and then murder them, girl. But she does a lot of things in between. But she's a human. She's got the what do you call it? She's got the powers, I guess, of a spider, kind of like Spider-Man in a sense. She got a deadly kiss and all of the things. Seriously, my poor husband would definitely get no sleep. Oh Lord. Well, all right, y'all. I'm not going to keep y'all. I'm going to let y'all go. Thank you again for coming. I love you guys all. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.